Well, good evening. Welcome back to Edgier Than Thou. This has been a week. So about a week ago, I did a video talking about how right-wing rhetoric surrounding trans and LGBT people in general looked suspiciously like exterminationist rhetoric, and things have gotten worse from there. If you're interested in that video, I would definitely check it out here. I feel like I did a fairly good job of outlining my concerns. So in that video, I talked about how I think a lot of the anti-trans rhetoric is kind of a veil for anti-Semitism. You can promote a lot of anti-Semitic and, World War II villain adjacent ideas without explicitly saying them. Saying the cultural Marxists are promoting gender degeneracy and all that sort of thing. And the reason I say that video aged surprisingly well, unfortunately, is because in the past week, they've just kind of put the anti-Semitism on full display. I think like a day or two before I posted that video, Donald Trump had a dinner with an open and explicit neo-World War II villain. And that was unbelievable enough, right? I mean, that's a massive platform for someone like Nick Fuentes to get. And I think something like that is probably worthy of significantly more coverage than it even got. But that wasn't even something that I mentioned in the video that I made. I wasn't expecting it to be as significant as it ended up being. As it turns out, a couple of those dinner attendees have been, making the rounds lately. Just a couple of days ago, Kanye West, however it's pronounced, went on Tim Pool's show to make some claims, and when Tim was willing to walk right up to the line without explicitly endorsing Yee's anti-Semitic claims, he walked right out of that interview.
I think they've been extremely unfair to you.
Who was they though? We can't say who they is,
corporate
can we?
press. I'm not using I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use.
What do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like okay, so how about? Are you leaving?
Are you referring to the press?
He's gone.
Of course, Fuentes was there laughing and nodding along. And this is bad enough. Explicit, outward anti-Semitic rhetoric being popularized on one of the largest political shows in the country is unbelievable. Something I did not have on my bingo card for the last month. But suffice it to say, the mainstream conservative response has been interesting. Members of the Daily Wire, as far as I can tell, have been among the most fervent opposition to Yee's rhetoric and claims, which I think makes sense. A lot of the stuff that has been said has been explicitly anti-Semitic and directed at Ben Shapiro himself. But when you go outside of the Daily Wire bubble, things have gotten very interesting. The comments under conservative channels, and under Tim Pool's tweets in particular, have been very interestingly supportive of the things that Yee was saying. Lots of people who seem to think that he was preaching truth. Repetition of that Voltaire quote, if you want to find out who rules over you, find out who you're not allowed to criticize. Totally normal behavior like that. Which is to say that the fan base of a lot of conservative channels and of disaffected liberal Tim Pool have been silently interested in a lot of the things that Yee is now saying. But one of the things that concerned me the most was what was said on Steven Crowder's show after the Tim Pool interview.
I don't think he hates Jewish people. I think he's been wronged, and I think that he's aiming sometimes a howitzer. He's being imprecise.
Right. Yes.
But he's not wrong about everything. Look, is there a conversation to be had about secular humanists with Jewish last names in Hollywood exploiting people in positions of, the performance arts talent? Yeah. And by the way, that happens in the conservative movement too, behind the scenes. Yeah. People sign contracts where they don't know what they're signing. Yeah, it's true. Is there a disproportionate number of people with Jewish last names in higher banking? That's an argument that can be made.
And I think this is probably indicative of the direction a lot of conservative rhetoric is going to go in the coming months. I could be wrong. Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll dial it back. I think one thing that complicated a lot of this was that immediately after this interview, you went on Alex Jones's show to tell us how much he loves,
there's a lot of things that I love about Hitler. A lot of things.
Yeah. So, of course, after this, a lot of the conservative response has been condemning that, which I think should come as no surprise. We are not at a point in this country where you're outwardly allowed to say that you love that guy and get away with it entirely. But the concern is, a lot of this condemnation came after the explicit part. He's been getting a lot of love and support for all of the things that he said leading up to this, which suggests to me that the concern is not so much what he said, but the fact that he said the quiet part out loud. You don't get to endorse or defend anti-Semitism and then back off the second that it goes just a little bit too far for you. I'm not as concerned with specifically what he is saying as much as the overall response. Obviously, it's horrible. He's got millions and millions and millions of followers, more than any of the people, as far as I can tell, that I mentioned in the previous video. But the fact that there are conservative figures now discussing how we need to have a serious conversation about the prevalence of Jewish last names in Hollywood and upper banking should scare you. You know how people call out the whole just asking questions grift, where people get to say explicitly racist and bigoted things under the guise of just asking questions? Yeah. This is that on steroids. So yeah, in the coming months, keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the things that they're now saying that they probably wouldn't have been saying just a couple weeks ago. The rhetoric is escalating a lot faster than I expected, and once this stuff has been said, you kind of can't unring that bell. And I imagine we're going to see quite a few people now taking interest in this entire ideology because now it's got mainstream support. It's been outwardly said by a formerly beloved celebrity, and that doesn't bode well for the future of American political discourse. But yeah, wow, my upload schedule has definitely been a lot more consistent than I'm expecting it to be in the coming months. I've had a lot of time on my hands for the last little bit here, and also things have just been like unbelievable. I was not planning on posting a video today. This just kind of happened. I had to mention something about it. But yeah, so for kind of a minor little like channel update here, hi to all of the new people. This is surprising. I definitely wasn't expecting to get as many of you as I have so far. Obviously, we're not like huge or anything here, but I appreciate the support, and it's real nice. If you are watching this and have not subscribed or liked or any of that stuff, I would definitely recommend it. I appreciate it a ton. And yeah, it's been cool to hear from lots of different people and lots of different perspectives and all of that. So yeah, I've got some more PragerU stuff in the works. I've got one coming out probably like the 10th or 11th of December, and then I've got another probably larger one that I'll be working on over the course of this month. No promises on when that's going to be out, but I'm very interested to hear what people's thoughts are on it. But yeah, there's so much to talk about, and I'm definitely excited to hear people's responses to my responses to other people's responses. It'll be lots of fun. In other news, I got a little lighting kit here. It's definitely not finished. I definitely think this is not how it's going to end up looking, but I don't know. I think it's cute, and I think it shows potential. You know, I'll get the little like explosion lit up here, and then you can set it actually to flicker, and then, you know, it'll be like magic or whatever inside of there. I don't know. Sounds like fun. And here it is with a little bit less light. I don't know. My camera doesn't do a fantastic job of picking things up with low light conditions, but I don't know. Maybe you get the gist. Anyhow, yeah, this has definitely been an interesting experience. I appreciate all of your feedback and interest, and I will see y'all in the next one.